Am I the asshole for not giving my plus-size friend the queen-size bed in our B&B? I, 30s F, am going on vacation with 4 of my friends, 30s and 40s Fs. We go every year and always use a randomized selection tool to help us choose who gets which bedroom. The tool assigns the order in which we can choose. I got 3rd choice and my plus-size friend, Marie, got 5th choice. The first 3 of us all chose the queen-size beds. The other 2 got twin beds and had to share a room. Yeah, it sucks. But that's why we leave it up to chance so nobody can complain. Marie asked me privately if we could switch places so she can have the queen-size bed. She is plus-size, but I'm not so big she can't fit in a twin bed. I personally have lost over 100 pounds, and at my largest was bigger than Marie is now. I never once asked to switch beds when I was bigger. I therefore said no. She started crying and told me I was being unreasonable, and that I of all people should understand. I do understand, but it's my vacation too, and I've worked hard to be in a body I'm comfortable in. I don't feel like I should give up my spot to accommodate her, when she can still fit in the twin bed. Am I the asshole? Edit. We agreed ahead of time that the 2 people who got the twin beds would pay $75 less than the rest of us. It's just way too expensive to get a place with 5 rooms and 5 queen beds. Edit 2. She doesn't have any mobility issues or other disabilities that I'm aware of. Edit 3. It's $75 off of a total of $400 for the whole trip. Edit 4. She never explicitly offered the $75 back to me, but I honestly can't imagine she didn't have that in mind when asking to switch. She's not the monster a lot of you are assuming she is. Edit 5. Thank you all for your comments. Many people suggested it might be more about her discomfort about sharing a room and not as much about out the bed. That would make way more sense to me. When I was bigger, I used to snore and was completely embarrassed when I had to sleep in a room with someone. Many also suggested I am lacking empathy. It is true I do not feel empathy. It is a long-standing issue with my mental health, and is why I often post on this account asking for help. I don't want to be a dick, so I rely on honest people to call me out. So I do appreciate it, even though many people who said these things were downvoted. So you all paid the same amount and then left it to a randomizer to choose bedrooms? Forget about the wait. If I paid the same dollars to sleep in a double in a shared room, while my friends paid the same for a room to themselves, I'd be pissed. Regardless, not the asshole. And edit, because people are way too invested in this comment. OP made an edit explaining the $75 difference after I commented here. Great. We good? My not the asshole judgment still stands. No, the 2 who got the twin bedroom pay $75 less than the rest of us. Glad you edited that in. Seems fair to me. Not the asshole. This is the agreed upon method of determining beds. If she doesn't like the results, then she shouldn't have agreed to the setup. Also, there's absolutely no cause for her to demand larger than a twin. Isn't a twin bed like 39 in wide? That's 3.3 feet. That's not exactly slumming it in a kiddie bed or something. I know this because my kid has a twin XL, and I had to learn the sheet sizes in inches as some packages lie. She's also paying less? It's a shitty situation, but it is what it is. I only say not the asshole, as you guys use the randomized thing to pick the rooms. It's not like y'all outright set out to upset her. She was fine with the prospect of getting the smaller bed, until she did. Not the asshole. Why hasn't she asked the other 2 who also got queens? Did she only ask you because you were once bigger than her and lost weight? So in her mind, you don't need the bigger bed? Am I the asshole for leaving my husband at our lake house with his family? My husband and I own a lake house that we spend most of our free time at when it's warm. We go there over the winter to check on it and do any basic maintenance that is required. It is not set up for winter living. We often invite friends and family over. We have almost 2 acres of land, and there is lots of room to park an RV or set up a tent. The house has a septic tank for the toilet. All the other water goes to a gray water tank we use for the garden and lawn. We only use biosafe products. We have a very well-built and ventilated outhouse for when we have people over. So last weekend was the one where we went out to get the house ready for the spring and summer. We ordered the water truck to fill our tank, the propane guys to fill up that tank. We ran water through the pipes to flush them out and get them ready to use. And his mom and dad showed up with his brother and his family, which would be fine, except it was a cold and shitty weekend. So they didn't want to set up tents and stay outside. I asked him why they were here. He said that he told them we were going out, and they sort of invited themselves out. They didn't bring out much besides some sandwiches and a bunch of beer. They didn't understand why we didn't have any of the water toys ready. There was still ice on the lake. I asked my husband to tell them that we were not ready for guests and that they needed to leave or help. He wouldn't do it. So I left. I said I needed to run to the store. I took my car and went to the grocery store 5 blocks from my house. It is an Asian market with great sushi. I think my husband expected me to just be going to the gas station a mile from the lake. I left him out there to prep the house and deal with his guests. He is upset now that I left without telling him that I wasn't coming back, that he had to do all the work by himself, that he had to clean the house by himself. He said his family thought I was rude, not to stick around and host. I did not invite them. I told him that the house was not ready for guests. I told him that we did not have enough toilet paper for 8 people. He knew that we only had food for the 2 of us for the weekend. I think it's his fault and his problem. Should I have sucked it up and taken one for the team, or am I the asshole? My friend, this is Reddit, where adults have magical powers of communication that turn every conflict into a 5 Kleenex episode of Oprah. Whether the person with whom they're supposed to be communicating is an unreasonable neighbor, an in-law with raging personality disorders, an abusive SO, or a floridly psychotic ex. If there is a conflict at all, OP is obviously not using their communication superpowers, as if Francis had refused to preach to the beasts of the wilderness. OP not the asshole. Also, you have a husband problem. I hope you continue to refuse to make it your problem, to manage his rude-ass family's emotions and sense of entitlement. I was thinking ESH at first because you could have stayed and said they needed to leave. But no, that should be on your husband. You asked him to set that boundary, and he declined. Instead, he expected you to stay and clean the house, cook for everyone, go get groceries and supplies, and be a host to an unexpected group that should have been told no on the phone in the first place. Not the asshole. Your husband needs to grow a backbone with his family, and hopefully this experience will teach him to use his words. He said that he told them we were going out, and they sort of invited themselves out. This is where he should have said, "Sorry, I may not have been clear. We're just going out to get it ready. It won't be stocked and ready for guests, and we don't have the time or supplies to host you guys this weekend. Let's make plans for a better weekend for you to come out instead." You're right. This is his fault and his problem. I hope the sushi was good. He said his family thought I was rude not to stick around and host. And his family isn't rude for just showing up uninvited? Pot meat kettle. Lol. He wants to host surprise guests? Fine. He doesn't get to force you to do it. Should be an interesting vacation. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. As opposed to what? You cleaning the house? You getting all the supplies? You cooking for 8? You cleaning up after 8? Can't he host his own family? You shouldn't have sucked it, nor are you the AH. You do have a husband problem, though. Not the asshole. I think you need to let them know you are pissed. Text the in-laws. I understand that you are complaining. I am not there to host. Hopefully, husband has told you, I didn't even know you were coming. I would never have invited you to a working weekend, to a house that was not ready, or to a weekend without enough food or toilet paper. It still isn't clear to me why you are there under these circumstances. Either husband was insane and invited you without letting me know and without being prepared to look after you, or you ignored him and just arrived uninvited. Whatever, you all need to talk it through and leave me out of it. I will say this, though. It is apparent today that you and your son don't seem to realize the effort that I have expended hosting you all in the past. I think I will be cutting back this year. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.